Shedeur Sanders has had enough, and this time it's not just frustration or tension behind the scenes. It's over. Reports out of Cleveland confirm that the rookie sensation told the Browns organization directly, "If you're never going to trust me, trade me to someone who will." Those words shook the entire facility. What was supposed to be a normal team meeting turned into an all-out confrontation that insiders are calling the breaking point between Sanders and head coach Kevin Stefanski. Witnesses say Stefanski completely lost control, slamming his tablet, storming out, shouting about earning your spot, while players sat frozen in disbelief. Within minutes, word spread across the building. Players were seen pacing hallways, front office staff scrambling to contain what quickly became a full-blown crisis. This wasn't just a disagreement between a coach and his quarterback. This was an implosion. For weeks, rumors hinted that something was boiling beneath the surface. Stefanski, refusal to give Shedeur first-team reps, the team's reluctance to unleash their most talented arm, and the growing whispers that the locker room had begun to take sides. Now, all those tensions have exploded into the open. What started as frustration has turned into a franchise nightmare, one that could define the Browns' season or end it before it even begins. Because when your future star says he's done, the clock starts ticking. It finally happened. The breaking point no one thought would come this soon. During what was supposed to be a simple offensive meeting, Shedeur Sanders stood up and said the words that sent shockwaves through the entire Browns facility. "If you're never going to trust me, trade me to someone who will." Silence filled the room. Then chaos erupted. Witnesses say head coach Kevin Stefanski slammed his tablet on the table, shattering it before storming out, yelling about players needing to own their spot. The mood inside the building changed instantly. Players were left stunned, front office staff scrambling, and word spread like wildfire through the halls. This wasn't just another locker room disagreement. This was a public fracture between a young star who's done being patient and a coach who's losing control. One insider summed it up perfectly. That was the moment Shedeur stopped waiting and started fighting for himself. The tension between Shedeur Sanders and Kevin Stefanski didn't explode overnight. It's been building for months. Ever since training camp, players and fans have questioned why the Browns continue to hold back a quarterback with undeniable talent. Reports say Stefanski limited Shedeur's first-team reps, insisting on a slow development plan. Even as teammates privately admitted he looked more poised than the starter. Week after week, the frustration grew. Not just for Shedeur, but across the locker room. Everyone could see it. The team's offense lacked rhythm, creativity, and confidence. Yet the coaching staff kept playing it safe, ignoring the spark sitting right behind them. To make things worse, every time Shedeur impressed in practice, Stefanski doubled down. More restrictions, fewer opportunities. It wasn't about performance anymore. It was about control. And when you have a young quarterback who knows he's ready, being silenced long enough only leads to one thing: a breaking point. The fallout from Shedeur Sanders' trade demand was instant and explosive. Within hours, the story spread across social media, with hashtag #ShedurTrade trending nationwide. Fans were completely divided. Some begged the Browns to fix things immediately, while others said Shedeur deserved better than a coach who refused to trust him. One viral comment captured the moment perfectly. "Shedeur didn't quit, he's escaping." Inside the building, chaos turned into disbelief. Players were whispering in hallways, reporters swarming the facility, and the front office scrambling to contain a situation spiraling out of control. For a fan base that's lived through decades of quarterback heartbreak, it felt painfully familiar. Another generational talent slipping through their hands because of ego and mismanagement. The Browns had finally found their future, and they might have just pushed him away. The league didn't waste a second reacting to Shedeur Sanders' trade bombshell. Within hours, reports surfaced that 3 teams, the Broncos, Raiders, and Falcons had already reached out to Cleveland about his availability. According to insiders, those franchises see a rare opportunity: a franchise quarterback with elite accuracy, composure, and star power, available without giving up a top draft pick. Meanwhile, Kevin Stefanski faced the media, but his press conference only made things worse. When asked directly about Shedeur's future, he muttered, "We're not discussing hypotheticals." His tone shaky, his confidence gone. His voice cracked, his answers stumbled, and everyone watching could tell he'd lost control of the locker room. By evening, ESPN, Fox Sports, and every major outlet had jumped on the story. Analysts called it organizational malpractice, warning that Cleveland was on the verge of wasting another generational quarterback. Around the league, one truth echoed louder than ever: if the Browns can't value Shedeur Sanders, another team gladly will. The national media wasted no time tearing into Kevin Stefanski after Shedeur Sanders' shocking trade demand. On ESPN, Shannon Sharpe flat out called it a disaster of leadership, saying, "You don't bench talent like Shedeur and expect him to sit quietly forever." Stephen A. Smith was even harsher, calling the Browns' handling of Sanders organizational malpractice. Both analysts agreed on one thing: Cleveland had finally found a quarterback who could change their future, and somehow they were pushing him away. Former players joined the chorus, accusing Stefanski of letting ego get in the way of progress. One ex-Brown put it bluntly: "This team hasn't had a real franchise quarterback in years, and now they're running one out the door." What was once a private disagreement had become a national embarrassment. Every sports network, every headline, every podcast echoed the same message: Cleveland was imploding, and the rest of the NFL was watching it happen in real time. Inside the Browns locker room, the atmosphere has shifted completely. Players who once tried to stay neutral are now quietly picking sides. Multiple reports say several veterans approached Shedeur Sanders after practice, offering private words of support and encouragement. One player even told ESPN anonymously, "He's handled this better than any of us would. He deserves to start somewhere." That single quote says it all. The locker room believes in Shedeur, even if the coaching staff doesn't. Meanwhile, the tension between players and coaches is growing. Stefanski's decision-making has started to divide the team, with frustration leaking into team meetings and practices. The energy feels fractured. Some still loyal to the system, others rallying around Sanders as their true leader. Everyone can sense it. The Browns aren't just battling opponents anymore. They're battling themselves. And if the staff's ability to manage a modern quarterback like Shedeur Sanders and accusing them of breaking trust with the franchise's future. Sources close to the situation claim Haslam asked one simple question: can this be fixed, or is it already too late? And that's the terrifying part. It might be. Insiders say Shedeur feels not just frustrated, but betrayed. He believes the organization made promises they never intended to keep. For the Browns, this isn't just a quarterback crisis. It's an identity crisis. The trust is gone, and unless something changes immediately, Shedeur's next snap might be wearing another team's jersey. The Shedeur Sanders saga has reached the point of no return. Sources close to the young quarterback say he's no longer just frustrated. He feels betrayed. That word carries weight. It means the trust between Shedeur and the Browns is broken beyond repair. He reportedly believed in the team's promises, trusted Kevin Stefanski's plan, and expected a real chance to compete. Instead, he's watched excuse after excuse pile up, his confidence in the coaching staff collapsing with each week. Inside the facility, it's chaos. Players are confused, coaches defensive, and the front office scrambling to contain the fallout. Reports say Shedeur has lost faith not only in Stefanski, but in the organization's entire direction. Unless there's a dramatic shift, not words, but real action, His next pass could come wearing a different uniform. For Cleveland fans, it's a familiar nightmare. Another generational quarterback slipping through their fingers before the story even begins. The Shedeur Sanders drama isn't just another quarterback dispute. It's a mirror reflecting the Browns' deeper issues. This franchise has seen it all before. A promising young quarterback arrives, hope fills the city, and then mismanagement turns it all to dust. What's happening now feels painfully familiar. Reports say communication inside the organization has completely broken down. Coaches, front office, and ownership aren't aligned, creating chaos from the top down. League insiders claim executives across the NFL are watching closely, calling this situation a modern case study in dysfunction. In an era where players like Shedeur hold massive influence through their personal brands and fan bases, old-school coaching control doesn't work anymore. The Browns are learning that lesson the hard way. If they don't adapt fast, they risk losing not just Shedeur, but their credibility as a franchise. Once again, Cleveland stands on the edge of another self-inflicted disaster. The Browns are officially running out of time. With the trade deadline fast approaching, the Shedeur Sanders situation is spiraling out of control. Every day, new reports emerge of locker room tension, frustrated veterans, and coaches walking on eggshells. Kevin, Stefanski's every word is being dissected by fans and analysts looking for signs of collapse. Meanwhile, Shedeur remains silent, but his silence is louder than any statement. Insiders say multiple teams are already preparing trade offers, sensing Cleveland's desperation. Denver, Las Vegas, and Atlanta have all reportedly made inquiries. The Browns are now stuck between pride and panic. Either fix the relationship or risk losing a generational quarterback before he ever gets his shot. What happens next could define this franchise for the next decade. One thing's clear. If Cleveland mishandles this, the Shedeur Sanders era will end before it ever begins.